remains in jeopardy. The head of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle, is finished. She will have to resign. Security at the Trump rally was terrible. But the biggest unintended consequences are going to be on the hate brigades that populate the corporate media and the social media. These people are now quickly retreating. But we know who you are, and we know who is paying your check. We will continue our expose on those corporations. President Trump has been mercilessly attacked for almost 9 years. The American people must demand accountability here. Only Abraham Lincoln suffered more vitriol than Donald Trump. And we all know what happened to President Lincoln. Finally, Trump has a huge opportunity to blunt the January 6th situation that continues to haunt him. If he calls for moderation of hate speech on Thursday, he will score big. Back after this. Are you feeling the impact of the recent changes in the timeshare industry? My friends at Lone Star Transfer are the only company I trust to help you. For more than a decade, they have successfully helped over 20,000 owners get out of their timeshare with an A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau. Customer service is their priority. For a free consultation and a guaranteed solution, 855-551-7066 or go to LoneStarTransfer.com. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom fighters. Morning, Kenny.
Morning, Vic.
How you doing?
I'm freedom fighting. I'm doing really well.
You're what?
I'm freedom fighting.
Yes, you are. I thought you said I'm free of Biden.
I'm free of Biden. I'm free of freedom fighting.
Hey, free of Biden, freedom fighting kind of rhymes a little bit.
A little bit.
Actually, just a little bit. Actually, not even enough. All right. Good morning, everybody. So Tuesday morning.
We got. Oh, never mind.
What?
Nothing.
No, go.
No, because he's gone now. Joe was in the window.
Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, Rush.
Our Joe. Yeah.
Our Joe. So he's late. Mark him down.
Right. Mark him down.
Write him up. Okay. So, boy, so much to talk about. And you know what? A lot to talk about is Saturday, because more and more information is coming out. Our dichotomy yesterday of complete failure by the Secret Service or the fix was in.
Right.
And the hit was put on Donald Trump.
And I think even the pictures we put up on the stream had a little something to do with all this, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Nick Schroer, waiting in the wings. We'll talk to him in just a bit. Okay, so yesterday, I want to apologize because I know how much you guys like stuff like that's crap. But yesterday, during the break, we were going to do it. We just started getting on a roll on what we were talking about. And when I get some stuff stuck in my head on something so dramatic and so historical,
yeah,
I mean, that assassination attempt was historical.
Right.
So we skipped it. So we'll do it tomorrow?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Sure, Vic, whatever you want. Ken talks to me like I'm the guy in the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Sure,
well,
Vic, we can just take your medication.
Well, at least I don't talk to you like Jill talks to Joe. You're such a good boy. You know what? For you, tomorrow, we're going to, hey, that's crap. You did so well today.
So play me some Biden coming up. But what a difference. What a difference between Jill and Melania. You know?
Oh, my goodness.
Melania is elegant. She's beautiful. She's soft-spoken. She's well-spoken. She speaks 5 languages. And Jill feeds her husband pudding.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And gets crazy when he loses it and says he's going to quit.
Right.
She smacks him in the back of the head and says, "You will not quit, mister."
Oh, no, they're not Italian, are they? That's an Italian mother thing.
Is it?
Slap in the back of the head.
I got smacked in the back of the head.
Oh, yeah? Maybe it's not. Okay. Maybe it's just generational. Maybe it was that generation.
That could be, yeah.
Hans von Spakovsky joins us at 9:41 today. And there's not even enough time to talk to Hans because of so much stuff going on. Project 2025. It's getting a lot of attention for all the wrong reasons, from the left. So I just want to give him a chance to talk about, is it the end of democracy? Are we all going to die if, Project 2025 happens? And Drew Thomas Allen, did you see Drew's video, little video blog after the assassination attempt on Saturday?
No, I didn't see it.
He starts it off by saying, I don't really like to curse on here,
yeah.
but, and then he went nuts.
And congratulations to J.D. Vance being vice president pick from President Trump. I think we should discuss that a little bit.
Absolutely. And I tell you right now, I like it. I like the pick.
I do too.
Yeah. All right, let's do the pledge, and then we'll get Nick Schroer in here, who gave us a whole bunch of more stuff to look at that he made last night, T-shirts and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
All right, Kenny, who's doing the honors?
Yeah, Vic. She's in the news a lot, and she's on our show a lot, and she's been on the news about Trump. It's Caroline Levitt.
I love Caroline Levitt. Go ahead, Caroline.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Fantastic. And that was live. She did that live for us.
Yes, she did.
Okay, let's get a state senator going.
Yeah.
He's known by many names.
We, the people are in charge. Once we put the people back in charge, we're going to save our republic.
Nikki Two Shows. Schroer the Thrower. Twitter trolls love to hate him.
We love Vic Porcelli so much.
He's Nick Schroer, Missouri State Senator.
Good morning, State Senator. How are you?
Good morning, freedom fighters. Thanks for having me on again.
Always. It's our pleasure. It's our honor.
Oh, yeah.
So, boy, where do we start? Let's start with J.D. Vance. You like that pick?
Yeah, I think it's a great pick. I thought he was going to go, a more calming force, like a Ben Carson type, like he did last time with Mike Pence. But I think, when he said we need somebody to take over the MAGA movement after his 4 years is up, you couldn't get anybody better. I mean, maybe Vivek, would be in that realm of people that are younger, that have the same MAGA policies. But I think it's great. And he's making beards great again. He's bringing back to the White House.
Yes, he is.
He reminds Trump of a young Abe Lincoln. I think, too, on the electoral map, Ohio. I mean, he's a senator from Ohio, so you'd think that would help lock up Ohio for Trump. Pennsylvania,
the
right
Rust
next
Belt,
door,
yeah,
right?
Right.
I mean, I think that's key to getting all those states of Pennsylvania, swing state that we. All right.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why he, is such a master Trump or master chess player. Trump is, making these types of picks to where, I mean, he could have picked. I've heard General Flynn. He could have picked a number of people, Tucker Carlson, but the fact that he's picking somebody to help bring some support and get more votes in those states that are. The ones that are typically on the line and, the toss-up states that you really need to win the presidency. I think it's smart on him.
I do, too. So Donald Trump gets shot on Saturday. Monday, he shows up at the RNC, which I thought was so cool because, you know what he's saying? He's saying, I'm not down. I mean,
No.
I'm not out. You may have knocked me down, but I'm not out. And I think it was just a great show of strength. I think right from the second he got shot, when he stood up and said, fight, fight, fight. I think he's showing so much strength, which this country absolutely needs more than ever right now.
Yeah. I mean, he is a true American badass. And, listen to guys like Dana White, who owns UFC. He's been around the block. He's seen guys like Chuck Liddell and Brock Lesnar. And, you've got all these people that could rip your head off. Well, now you've got Trump, the American pit bull, who, he's been through the gamut. He's filed bankruptcy. He's seen ups. He's seen downs. He's been attacked every which way since going into this for the American people to preserve this nation that he saw and kind of built New York and got successful. And he's seen us go in the opposite direction. He's taken all the arrows and he keeps getting back up. And last night, seeing him walk into the convention, it kind of gave me chills because, if you think about it, he was just shot. He was just shot at a rally for him. And, we're going to the RNC. This should be for him as well. What's going through his mind? Is his security detail actually going to be there to help him? Are they going to see people that are 200 yards away on a friggin' white roof in the middle of the day when you've got all these pedestrians saying, hey, there's a guy up there with a friggin' gun and they're not doing anything? Well, thank God that they rebuffed his team, not with these DEI hires. They actually have a bunch of swole, gigantic men that are all around him. It looks like he's walking into the UFC now, and he's got an entourage, and rightfully so, because look, we've been saying this for years. Tucker Carlson has said it. You guys have said it. If they can't beat him with the lawfare, if they can't beat him with the indictments, if they can't beat him with the impeachments, they're going to try to kill him. And that's what happened. And the hand of God came down. The shots came out 6:11. 6:11 is when those shots rang out on Saturday. And when you read Ephesians 6:11, this gives me chills, because he moved his head just at the right time, just in the right way.
By a
and
half
even
inch.
for Trump, the mannerism which he did it was almost like the hand of God just kind of pushed him in the right direction. Ephesians 6:11 says, "Put on the full armor of God to protect yourself from the devil."
Can I
And
read
that's
that
exactly what we saw.
Let me read the exact quote. "Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil."
Yes.
Ephesians, is that how you say that?
Ephesians.
Ephesians 6:11.
Yeah.
He got shot at 6:11.
I'm going to make that my new nickname. So it's going to be really hard for you to say.
I can't, because I can't say.
Ephesians Schroer.
Senator Ephesians. Hey, Nick, I was talking with, in fact, I want to welcome Ethan Way to the family here at NewstalkSTL. He's one of our new salespeople. And we were having a conversation this morning about Trump's, how deep the group of people that Trump has to choose from is going.
Yeah.
And he chose J.D. Vance. Well, I said, these other people, they're great, and he's going to have them in their cabinet. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's incredible. I think the bench that we have as Republicans, we've got a friggin' all-star team of people at, Vivek Ramaswamy. Now people are saying, all right, we can pick from Ohio. Vivek's out there. He can replace J.D. Vance in the U.S. Senate. I think that's phenomenal. And then flip the coin and look at the Democrat ticket. They couldn't even find anybody to replace Biden.
Right.
So their bench is full of Marxists, and you hear all this talk about Agenda 25, something that Trump hasn't even pushed out. I am challenging all Republicans, go on the offensive now and start talking about the Communist Manifesto. The Communist Manifesto is the exact playbook that these Democrats and socialists and Marxists are wanting to implement here in the United States. So if they want to talk about agendas from the Heritage Foundation, let's actually talk about something they're putting into play, and that's the Communist Manifesto. That's the rules for radicals. This is what we are seeing before our very eyes. So I think, just like you guys have done on this show, you do a great job of using their playbook against them. It's time we start doing that full bore, go on the offensive across the board.
And last night when he walked into that arena, I was getting emotional. The boys were getting emotional. When I say the boys, Don Jr. and Eric were getting emotional.
Yeah.
Trump was even getting a little
Did
emotional.
you see his face?
Listen, he wrote a speech for the RNC that he's torn up and thrown away.
Yeah.
And he's written a complete different one. So I think we're going to see a different kind of Trump. It'll be Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And all his policies will be intact, but it's going to be a different kind of tone, Nick, I think. What do you think?
It's really weird that you say that. I was talking to my wife last night. There's this guy that we mentioned on the show, and then the show right behind me, Next Gen with Danny Define. He mentioned this prophet as well, this pastor. Again, his name escapes me, but the prophecy that he came out with 3 months ago. This is on YouTube. 3 months ago, the guy's like, "Hey, I pictured this in my head. There's going to be this election coming up. It's very important. There's going to be an assassination attempt.
Wow.
The bullet's going to whiz by his ear.
What?
His ear's going to, dude, it gets even scarier. He says that his ear, the ear, it comes so close to his ear, it bursts his eardrum. So it's a little bit off, but he says his ear starts bleeding. He falls to the ground. He gets back up. He continues fighting, but he gets closer to God at that point, and it humbles him. It changes him. He's a totally different president. He goes on to win, and these lawsuits start getting dismissed and going away. Well, what happened yesterday? Monday starts. The lawsuits get dismissed. People all over are saying, hey, this is a new Trump. He's very emotional. He's very humble. He's talking about the Bible. He's talking about the hand of God intervene on that day. Look, I'm not one for, prophecies, because more times than not, they're wrong. But as of right now, this guy is spot on.
Yeah.
All right. Something that I saw over the weekend, courtesy of the Gateway Pundit. There's a commercial for BlackRock, Nick.
Yes.
And it's a 30-second spot. And it's got this chubby kind of teacher guy who talks about, how he's helping kids and this and that. And the spot starts with him, driving to where he teaches. And then they show him in the classroom. And the reason why it sticks out is because he uses one of those whiteboards and a marker like Ken does here. And the way he holds the marker is weird. It looks like he's almost doing it with his fingers, just a weird way that he holds it. And there's a bunch of students, and one of the students is Crooks, the shooter, in a BlackRock commercial.
Yeah, I really don't know what to make of this. And, I generally want to take in all of the evidence before I start forming a conclusion. And I always play devil's advocate. But, the shooter just so happens to be in a BlackRock commercial.
Weird, right?
It is very weird. And when you look at what BlackRock is standing for, you'll own nothing and you'll love it. The globalism that they're supporting, all these huge tyrants that they're supporting. It's very weird. And again, the jury's still out. What does this mean? I'm not too sure, but it doesn't smell right.
Absolutely. And it's funny that you can see little hints, right, of how devastatingly bad the Secret Service looked out of all of this. And I don't mean the people who jumped on Trump and covered him up. I think they did what they're supposed to do. I mean, I can't see them doing much more than what they did. But last night, there were so many Secret Service people around Trump. They were up his ass. That's how many people were around him. And I'm like, oh, really? Now you're doing it at where all his friends are at, really? But not at this thing. I don't know, Nick. I mean, I think, you heard the story, right? There's regular people who are at the rally.
Yeah.
Hey, officer, there's a guy up there with a gun. Okay.
3 minutes prior, they're talking about now.
And the snipers are already in position. The Secret Service snipers are already in position.
They're looking at him.
They're looking right at him.
This is a shot, and this is what I was telling some friends, that they're not shooters, they're not hunters. I've grown up around guns. We've got a farm out in mid-Missouri, in Fayette, Missouri, and this is a shot that, look, if you allowed me to lay down, I will make that shot all day long from 200, 300 yards to drop a deer.
Yeah.
And thank God these Democrats, these basement dwellers that are still living with their parents, they don't know how to shoot. Thank God for that.
Yep.
But, seeing that it's only 200-300 yards away on top of a friggin' roof, you've got people everywhere saying, hey, there's a guy climbing on a roof with a rifle. I mean, if this was a Joe Biden rally, granted, there'd only be 10 people there, but if this was a Joe Biden rally, they would have that place swarmed. And if we've learned anything from the past assassination attempts, you sweep the place. Listen to Dan Bongino. Listen to a lot of these, I think it's Corey Mills and a lot of these others that have been snipers or in the Secret Service or in NYPD and law enforcement. And they said this is a complete and utter failure for them not to sweep these areas to make sure somebody didn't store weapons, somebody's not hiding out, somebody's not climbing up a ladder on top of a building, walking around with a rifle, getting ready to shoot the president. This is an utter failure. And I think, like Josh Hawley has said, we need to open up an investigation, open it wide up to the world, because now you have RFK who couldn't get security. You've got the Trump campaign that has said, look, we've got threats. We need to beef up our team. Can you send us some more people?
Yeah.
And the Secret Service says, no, you're good.
So we got to go, Nick, but just one last thought, the people who know everything, on all the experts on social media.
Yeah.
Somebody on Twitter was like, when you shoot something with a 22, it obliterates what you're shooting. The kids that were shot with that, they had to be identified with DNA.
Oh my God.
The comments though are the best.
It's awesome.
So the one video was like a GIF. He goes, look, here's a video of an AR-15 shooting a kitten, and it was like a nuclear explosion. One from my wife. All right, Nick, what do we need to know from you in 10 seconds?
Just go to Stand and Fight this Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m. We're going to have a couple other shows. Aaron Dorr is going to be kicking off his new show this weekend, which is Shall Not Be Infringed. So stick with us, NewstalkSTL, and God bless you, freedom fighters.
God bless you, Nick, you freedom fighter as well.
God bless you back, Nick. Thank you so much. Another great conservative show.
Whoosh.
On the weekend. We got some great content on this radio station. And also, I think I said this yesterday, but I'd like to say in case I didn't, I'm so proud of this team here at this radio station.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Saturday when that happened, you were here. Tony was here. I was on my way up and told to go home, by the way. Just go away, little boy. And everybody was willing to come in and do what we had to do. And I think that's just a great radio station we got here. All right, big show today. Drew Thomas Allen. Let's talk about that little video he made on Twitter, which cracked me up. Did we say this on the air that he started the whole thing off by saying, I don't really like to curse on here, but, and then he just went off. He just went crazy. Hans von Spakovsky from the Heritage Foundation at 9:41. And up next, playing me some Biden on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk. Here's one for my wife.
Like and subscribe to us on Rumble. News Talk STL.
Whoosh.
You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
The town of Rolling Stone will be back. And what did I say? I said Rolling Fork, Rolling Stone. I got my mind going here.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Missouri Wild Alchemy is a local and family-owned business dedicated to providing consumers with high-quality cannabis and education. They strive to make customers feel comfortable and to help curtail the stigma of cannabis use by having a professional and well-educated staff. They're proud to carry products from several Missouri cultivators and manufacturers. Missouri Wild Alchemy, now serving recreational customers 21 and above, as well as patients. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram, or visit MissouriWild.com. That's MissouriWild.com.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Replacing your roof is always a big deal and a big decision. That's why I want you to call my friends, the folks that we've trusted with our homestead, Eureka Contracting and Roofing. 636-938-ROOF. That's 636-938-ROOF. They are veteran-owned, over 30 years of experience in the construction and insurance industry. They'll replace 100% of your roof, siding, fascia, and gutters. They'll come to you with a personal consultation. Give them a call anytime that Mother Nature strikes you. 636-938-ROOF. Available 24/7 at eurekacontracting.com. That's eurekacontracting.com.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
Thank you for the opportunity to let me vent here.
Live and local.
Way to be, guys. 1019 all the way.
This is News Talk STL.
I am home.
My grandfather, Finnegan Scamp, would really be proud of me right now.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Court will take a 60-minute recess for lunch.
Your Honor, I respectfully request a full day's continuance to go over all this stuff.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, 99.1 HD3 and NewstalkSTL.com.
And I think we all can agree, whether people like him or they don't like him, in light of what happened to him on Saturday, he has proven to be one tough SOB.
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
That is Teamsters president Sean O'Brien, who was the first Teamsters president in the history of the Teamsters to speak at the Republican National Convention.
Amazing.
And he didn't endorse anybody, but...
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Vic.
What do you mean?
No, I know, but it's so funny. He's at the Republican National Convention.
But that was my big thing I was waiting for. That was the big, pull the curtain back. And ladies and gentlemen, I endorse Donald John Trump. But he didn't go that far. But he spoke at the Republican National Convention. Now, Sean O'Brien, leader of the Teamsters, if you remember back a year ago, a little more than a year ago, actually a little less than a year ago, Senator Marquand Mullen was on a committee, and Sean O'Brien was testifying in front of this committee, and they almost went at it.
I was hoping so that they would try.
And Sean O'Brien referenced that moment by saying, like Senator Marquand Mullen said, get up off your butt. Because remember, he said, come on, you want to go? Let's go right now. Get up off your butt.
Yeah.
So he referenced that incident last night. And I just thought it was funny that he brought it up, that he was there at all, that he brought up the almost fight with Marquand Mullen. And you know that a Teamsters president was at a Republican National Convention. I think that is just absolutely amazing. And when he was talking about Trump and how tough he is, who isn't talking about how tough he is? Who's this?
It's Andre.
Andre, how are you, sir? Thanks for serving.
My pleasure. I was on the road Saturday and I didn't hear what happened until later. And one of my family members told me when I got to where I was going. And my first question was, well, is he still alive? They just said, oh, Trump got shot. And I'm like, what? But I just wanted to clarify something that one of your callers said yesterday. I went back and watched your show on Rumble.
Thank you.
So I think it was Scotty, but I could be wrong. And I mean, no disrespect for this whatsoever. But he had mentioned like the max effective range of an AR. It's actually like 500 meters of an AR, and he had said something like 300. But I want to say that what Senator Schroer had said there, I don't think anybody else has mentioned. Like that shot that he took, like in the prone position, 150 yards. That's a money shot every day.
Yeah.
Like it is the easiest shot to take, and I just thank God that he moved at that last second.
Yeah, I was going to say, except when you do have God on your side, and then he turns your head a little
He
bit.
certainly had God on his side. All right, Andre, listen, always great to hear from you, man. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Have a good day, fellas.
You too, buddy.
All right, I think it's time for Play Me Some Biden. Oh, yeah. You know what? Sometimes I feel insensitive because I don't feel sorry for him.
Too bad.
Or bad for him. I don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel bad for him.
No.
I just don't.
He's a bad person.
And he lies right down to the interview with Lester Holt.
Oh, my God.
About incendiary comments. So, anyway, Joe Biden, there was an interview with Lester Holt and him, and Lester Holt did okay. I mean, he didn't go above and beyond, but we'll get into that as we go. Kenny, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Play me some Biden.
In your last TV interview, you were asked if you had watched the debate, and your answer was, I don't think so, no. Have you since seen it?
I've seen pieces of it. I've not watched the whole debate.
And the reason I ask, because I guess the question is, are you all on the same page? Are you seeing what they saw, which was moments of, frankly, that appeared to be confused?
Lester, look, why don't you guys ever talk about the 28 lies he told?
Liar.
Where are you on this? Why didn't the press ever talk about that? 28 times.
Liar.
It's confirmed he lied in that debate. I had a bad night. I wasn't feeling well at all. And I had been, without it making, I screwed up. But
I just asked the question because the idea that you may or may not have seen what some of these other folks have seen, you're not on the same.
I'd have to see. I was there. I'd have to see it. I was there. And by the way, seriously, you won't answer the question, but why didn't the press talk about all the lies he told?
Well,
I haven't read anything about that.
We were focused on your
reported
lies.
many of the issues that
No,
came
you
up during
haven't.
that debate.
No, you haven't.
We'll provide you with them.
God love you.
Okay.
Boy,
Oh
that
my
was
God. All right,
contentious,
so-
wasn't it?
The funny thing is he can't get his words straight in one question. At the beginning of that, he says 18 lies, and then later he says 28 lies, neither of which is accurate, but he can't even get his number straight in his own head.
Totally agree with that.
Numbers, when you have dementia, I'm sure, are a tough thing to do. And I just, Lester Holt sounded a little scared and timid to me.
He totally did. Yeah.
When they interview, any
Trump.
Republican or if it's Trump, they're right on it. Well, you
And they're
said
leaning
this. And
forward.
why did you do this? And why? So I don't believe he gets. He shouldn't have gotten the pass. He did do okay. Lester Holt did okay. Not an exceptional job of interviewing Joe Biden.
No, I totally agree with that. But there's a tell there, Vic. Something we've never really talked about.
You.
And I'm picking it up because of you talking about all the tells that you have of Biden. But did you notice and he did this the other day, when he laughs, it means he's really pissed.
Yeah.
When he starts laughing, he's like, I can't get through to this guy.
Right.
I'm not able. I'm going to either hit him or laugh, and I'm laughing.
I think it's a combination of that, and I don't know what to say next.
That could be true too. Yeah, part of that. Yeah.
All right. You got another one? I hate this. I swear to God, I hate him. I hate everything about them. Ken, play me some Biden.
You were in Delaware when this happened. What was your first reaction?
The first reaction was, my God, look, there's so much violence now, the way we talk about it. I mean, the whole notion that there is this,
look,
there's no place at all for violence in politics in America. None, zero. And we've reached a point where it's become too commonplace, not assassinations, but to talk about it. For example, the January 6th, the attack on the Capitol. Lester, I got in this race early on in 2020 for the 2020 race. I wasn't going to run again because I lost my son. I didn't feel it. And until I watched what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. Those folks coming out of the woods with torches, carrying swastikas, singing the same Nazi bile, was accompanied by this Ku Klux Klan, and a young woman was killed. And I was a bystander. And the then president was asked, what do you think? He said, they're very fine people on both sides. Not fine people on both sides. No excuse, zero.
Ken, is anybody telling him anything? When he's not in public, he's in the White House. Is anybody telling him anything? Is anybody saying, Mr. President, that whole thing about people on both sides was debunked? It's even on Snopes. So it didn't happen. Please stop saying it. They don't tell him that? They're afraid of him too?
They're either trying to get him to look bad, or they're just ignoring it and just saying, just say whatever. Because you know what? The media is going to pass it along as truth anyway.
So they want us to temper down, right?
Yes.
All the rhetoric.
Yes.
So is he tempering down all the rhetoric? Why don't we find out? Ken, play me some Biden.
Most importantly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, Trump is a threat to this nation.
Nothing incendiary about that. You have to understand something. If you want to call him Hitler, the regular person says, oh my God, Trump is Hitler. Hitler was very bad. If anybody killed Hitler before he killed all those Jews, that would have been great. They would have been a hero. I better kill Trump because he's Hitler.
Right.
What else? And then don't say your thoughts and prayers are out for him if he was Hitler a week ago.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When they're saying turn down the temperature, the left is not talking about them.
Right.
Because Karine Jean-Pierre even just said, they asked her, we've got a clip of it we'll play later, but she says, well, we are right. What we're saying is the truth about him destroying the country. So in other words, we should continue to say that. But you people on the right saying that we're a threat because we're fascists, you need to stop that.
Yeah, absolutely right. All right, Ken, I guess that's it, right?
Want to do one more?
No, I do. Play me some Biden.
That's why, all the programs that I've initiated have saved the government money. Saved the government money.
I had to play that one.
Did he name any by name?
No, but that's not the point.
Do you see how he's from that era where whatever he says, people take as the truth? I mean, sometimes it's really throwaway stuff like, oh, I went 1,000,000 miles on Amtrak, and Ange said, hey, Joey, and people, oh, wow, Ange said, wow, Joey, that's really good. Ange was dead. Yeah.
You identified it earlier. The media should be asking questions. This is the media's fault.
Right.
He said it, but it's the media's fault, Vic.
And Morning Joe wasn't on the air yesterday.
Yeah. Why, Vic?
But Rachel Maddow was, and Joy Reid was, who are more inflammatory than they are.
Yeah.
They should have everybody taken the day off. Every one of them. All right. That's all the time we have for Play Me Some Biden. Coming up next, Hans von Spakovsky from the Heritage Foundation. Lots of stuff to talk to him about. And you know what? Oh, sorry, Joe. Look out. Oh, my God. He's next. On 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home. Whoa. Hi, Brad.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Live and be well.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
All right, little inside baseball, a little behind the curtain. We wear headphones in this room because if we didn't, there'd be terrible feedback, right? That's why we do it, because when you put the microphones on, it mutes all the speakers.
Okay.
So Ken does all his magic that you hear with the headphones on. Clearly listening to it too loud, by the way.
They're pretty
man.
loud. I like it loud though.
But then when he wants me, I'm not looking. I'm looking at the computer. Hey, Vic! I jumped out of my skin. Do Connor!
I realized when I saw you jump like that. Sorry.
All right, listen, your roof is pretty important part of your house, right? After a storm, high winds, shingles all over the neighborhood. Are any of those shingles from your roof? Might not be. Your roof may be just fine, or your roof may need some work. But you don't want to ever ask anybody but Connor what's going on your roof, okay? They'll go up there and they will give you an honest estimate of what's going on. And again, keep in mind that may be coming down and saying, yep, your roof looks pretty darn good to me. If you do need stuff done, they do quality work, of course. And customer service is not even a high enough superlative of what they do after the job. Their follow-up is amazing. Go look yourself. Go on Google reviews and take a look. Go to the Better Business Bureau and see what kind of a rating they got. I'll tell you right now, I'll save you the time. It's A+. But look at those reviews and see what people say, because they are the best at what they do. They are Connor Roofing. Get them at connorroofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com.
On the next Larry Connors USA.
The Republican convention is officially underway, and our own Speaker Tim Jones is at the convention with an update today.
Larry Connors USA. Now weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
How are your windows doing this summer? Are they keeping the hot air out, keeping the cool air in? If you have any doubts at all, once you get a hold of Window World, simply the best for less. Give them a call today, 314-993-1800. Tim Jones here to tell you how awesome Window World is, one of only 2 window companies in the entire country that carry the coveted Good Housekeeping seal of approval. They've got a lifetime warranty, covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor, a double strength of glass, incredibly thermally efficient, for the first time ever, offering 0% financing plans up to 36 months. 314-993-1800. 314-993-1800. WindowWorld.com. WindowWorld.com.
What's the best way to get rid of a timeshare that you don't want? Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline. We're a group of attorneys that help customers legally exit their timeshares. It's an easy process. We guarantee results or you pay nothing. Exit your timeshare today. Call now.
800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. That's 800-524-1641.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit connorroofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
After I signed the PAC Act into law,
Crack-a-lackin', you are speaking my crack-a-lackin' language.
the PAC Act.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Love that. All right. Hey, can I do a quick magic trick? I like to dabble in magic a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like to see some magic.
In my left hand here, Ken, what do you see?
I see a phone.
Okay. Now it's in my right hand. What do you see now?
I see a radio.
How about that? Radio, it's a phone, same thing. Get the app. Push 2 buttons. App button, play button. There we are. No matter where you are in the entire world, right?
Yeah, anywhere.
We've gotten calls and stuff and emails from people.
We just got one from Marty from Italy.
From Italy!
He was listening right
in
then.
Italy. So he was home in the motherland listening to the show. Love that. All right. Our next guest is, boy, when you want somebody who knows their stuff, you go to Hans von Spakovsky of the Heritage Foundation. Hans, thank you so much for being with us. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, thanks.
So I want to talk about Project 2025, but before we get there, you've been doing this a long time, Hans. This incident on Saturday stinks, and I I'm not getting any answers to the things, nobody listens to me. So, I'm not getting answers on my questions, but what questions do you have on how something like this can happen?
Well, I have numerous multiple questions. It's pretty clear that, the Secret Service didn't set out a wide enough perimeter. I'm amazed that this man was on the roof for as long as he was, being noticed by witnesses, and he wasn't either immediately taken out or the police weren't swarming him. I wonder whether, maybe the Secret Service has limited resources, but did they have have they heard of modern technology? Do they have a command truck with drones overflying the whole area to watch for things like this? It appears as if they didn't have any of that.
Do you think it was purposely?
No, I think it was frankly incompetent. And, I wonder about the leader of the Secret Service, this woman who was appointed by Joe Biden, because look, if a woman is physically fit, obviously she can be an agent. But when in the pictures, she is so much shorter than the person she is protecting, and therefore can't with her body shield the protectee. That's DEI taking precedence over the number one goal, objective, priority of the Secret Service, which is to protect the president, a former president, and everyone else that they're assigned to protect.
What a bad image it gives to the rest of the world.
Yes.
All these illegals who come across, who knows how many of them are snipers, right?
Well, we don't know. We do know a lot of them are criminals because ordinary Americans all over the country and their families are being victimized by these illegal aliens, killing, assaulting, murdering, raping members of their family. Yep.
All right. I guess that's all I'm going to say about that. I just don't understand. And, the only reason I asked you about, was it purposely done? It was because, and we've talked about this probably too much already this morning, but there's a commercial that was running, it was running on Fox News for BlackRock. And guess who's in it? This kid Crooks who shot the president. BlackRock.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. They took it down. So they clearly admit that something was wrong.
Right.
And so they took that commercial down. And by the way, it was recorded in Bethlehem High School in Pennsylvania. All right. Enough of that. Let's talk about Project 2025. The left, sometimes they don't know what to moan about, so now it's Project 2025 and it's going to be the end of the world. And, can you tell us a little bit about Project 2025? I know it's very vast, but can you give us a quick overview on why people should just calm down about it?
Yeah, let me do that, but very quickly also tell you that the Biden campaign and others have put out a long list of things they claim it does, all of which are fabricated lies, just one after another. Anyway, in 2022, 2 years ago, the Heritage Foundation got together more than 100 conservative think tanks and organizations, several hundred people, all experienced in having formerly worked in the federal government under various administrations, not just the Trump administration, but the Bush, Reagan administration, and said, look, if you were put in charge of the federal government, the executive branch, what would you reform? What would you change? How would you run each of these departments? And the result is a 900-page policy proposal. We call it Mandate for Leadership. There's a chapter in there on every major federal agency, Department of Defense, Justice Department, et cetera, that talks about the purposes of those departments, what they should be doing as opposed to what they are doing, and how they need to be reformed. There's nothing radical in this. The New Republic compared it to saying, oh, this would institute a fascist government. No, it would pull these departments back into what they're supposed to be doing instead of these days the way they're trying to interfere in every aspect of Americans' lives.
And to go back to what you were saying when my question was about the assassination attempt on Saturday and the DEI hires that happened at the Secret Service, I asked the question. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. I mean, look, the leader of the Secret Service, who has refused to resign, said in an interview, what was her number one goal? Making sure that 30% of the Secret Service is women. I thought her number one goal is to protect the president, the vice president, and everyone else they're assigned to. Isn't that supposed to be what she's aiming to do?
Right. We're talking to Hans von Spakovsky from the Heritage Foundation. Another thing I always ask the audience, Hans, when you ask people, what's more important to you, success or diversity or DEI? However, at the time when I first brought this up, it was just diversity. So what's more important to you, success or DEI? And I'll be darned, Secret Service, Disney, you name it, they all pick DEI and diversity over success.
I know, but that's because that's just frankly foolish, and it's the brainwashing of the left. If you pick the best people for a job, you're going to get a diverse set of people. On the other hand, if your only idea is diversity, making sure you fill various racial quotas and gender quotas, you are not going to be getting the best people for the job, because you're not looking for the best people for the job. You're looking at people's skin color and using that to hire. Like I said, if you want to get the best people, you're going to end up with the diverse group of folks.
Yep. And again, this administration is so proud of themselves about all the DEI hires. Let's start with Karine Jean-Pierre. She is a straight ahead DEI hire, and she can't even read. She can't think. I mean, clearly she didn't get the job because she was smart, is what I'm trying to say.
She is one of the worst press spokesmen we have ever seen in the White House in any Democrat or Republican administration. I mean, there's just no question of that.
And Kim Cheadle, the director of the Secret Service, because sometimes you have to look at things, Hans, and say, wait a minute, let's run this through Occam's razor, right? No representation of the Secret Service at the press conference Saturday night. Nobody from the Secret Service was there. The next day, there is a Secret Service person there, but they're not going to talk about Saturday. They're only going to talk about the RNC. They didn't show up. They don't want to talk about it. What are they hiding?
Well, they're hiding a monumental failure. Now, look, the agents on the scene, no one can in any way discount their bravery and their quick reaction. But the problem is they should never have been put into that position. And that's what an investigation by Congress, that's why an investigation needs to look at that. Quite frankly, given the enormous problems we've had with the FBI, the politicalization of the FBI, the politicalization of the Department of Justice, I frankly don't trust them.
Yeah.
To do an objective, independent investigation.
Yeah, right. Because the FBI's got the phone, the kid's phone, and then they're like, well, nothing to see here. So I'm like, okay, how did that meeting go? Oh my God, we were involved in this. Secret Service let it happen. CIA is involved. Okay, get rid of this phone. We don't know. Don't say anything to anybody. I mean, am I naive thinking that could happen, or are people naive thinking that doesn't happen?
No, I think you're naive if you think that doesn't happen, right. Which is why Project 2025 has a big chapter on the Department of Justice and the FBI and how they need to be reformed to, frankly, make them competent again and make their number one goal to be effective law enforcement organizations as opposed to DEI being their number one goal, or being used as a weapon against the political opponents of whoever controls the White House, because that's unfortunately what they've become.
It really is true. So just a quick note on some of the things that happened last night. First of all, Sean O'Brien, first Teamster to speak in front of the RNC ever, I thought that was pretty dramatic, didn't you?
It was, but I'm not surprised by that because, look, there's lots of stories about Donald Trump and the construction projects he financed and supervised in New York. And the blue collar guys there all talked about what a terrific boss he was. So, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. It was, I mean, I wasn't in the room at the time, and my wife was like, the president of the Teamsters? I was like, what? And there he was doing his thing. And finally, JD Vance as the pick for vice president. What do you think about JD Vance?
Well, he seems to have done a very good job as a U.S. senator. We need someone in the vice presidency who has the ability to take over if need be. It's hard to see that with Kamala Harris. It's not hard to see that with JD Vance. And in particular, given the dangerous situations we're facing around the world, having a former military officer in the vice presidency, somebody with military experience, seems like a very good idea.
He's crazy enough to put the uniform on and go re-enlist. That's how much of a patriot he is.
Yeah.
Hans von Spakovsky from the Heritage Foundation. Thank you so much. How do we find out more about you and the Heritage Foundation on social media?
Go to heritage.org, heritage.org. And if you want to look at Project 2025, read it for yourself, project2025.org.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Boy, he's a guy who knows his stuff, Ken, or is it me?
Oh, yeah. No, he does.
Okay, I just said to Ken, let's do the chat box, and don't you know my laptop froze up on me here, so I can do 3.
All right.
You can help me out. Barry Big says the cop that came upon the shooter and turned back had Uvalde syndrome, run away.
Yeah. Well, did you see that one Secret Service agent? I was really surprised that she was bucked down. She was down behind, hiding behind Trump.
Was it the heavier one?
I think it might have been, yeah.
Because she's getting just brutally beaten up on
Well,
memes.
and I understand it has nothing to do, though, with her weight. It has to do with her job.
Mm-hmm.
And she did a horrible job.
GMFFVH, good morning, freedom fighting Vic heads. Heads need to roll in the Secret Service, but don't hold your breath. Good morning, freedom fighters. Vic heads, you guys rock.
Hey, Vic.
Yeah.
What if a guy like maybe Dan Bongino became the head of the Secret Service?
Or the FBI.
Or the FBI. Do you think then heads would roll?
Yeah, oh, yeah. No doubt about it. And Secret Service reports to Homeland Security. Mayorkas is really the top head of Secret Service because Cheeto reports to him.
Right.
Good luck with that.
And neither of them are going to resign because of this.
Exactly right. All right, so it looks like we're not going to have enough time here. All right, I promise where we got 10:25 more chat box?
Yes, we'll get it in for sure.
We're ripping you guys off. I'm sorry. We don't mean to. It's all Ken's fault.
Thanks, Vic.
It's not. It's my
fault. About throwing me under the bus.
It's my fault. All right, when we get back, another hour of fun stuff. We're going to tell you. On 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Whoosh.
Liberal mega donors are always looking for new rhinos to do their bidding. And with Adam Schnelting, they found their new star. Adam Schnelting has already backed their radical plan to defund our police. And he skipped countless important conservative votes. Skipped a vote to protect kids from sexually explicit materials in school. And skipped a vote to protect churches from junk lawsuits. It's no wonder Adam Schnelting is bankrolled by Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden's top funders. Bill Cristofanelli is the only leader we can trust to protect our conservative priorities. When radicals tried to defund the police, Bill Cristofanelli passed record funding from Missouri's law enforcement. When Joe Biden left our southern border wide open, conservative Bill Cristofanelli banned sanctuary cities and voted to send Missouri National Guard troops to secure the border. Vote Phil Cristofanelli, the proven conservative, for state senate.
Gladius PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Gladius PAC, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Hey, Colombo here for Intervine, a great local company that has customers all across the country due to the quality of their products. Intervine has the best flashlights, lanterns, headlamps, and even batteries, including the new Monster 2000 Lumen waterproof lantern and the Sentinel 2000 self-defense flashlight. Our home and vehicles are full of great Intervine products, and right now you can shop their website and get 25% off your entire purchase just by using my name, Tony, as your promo code. That's promo code Tony at Intervine.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Former President Trump got a hero's welcome on the first day of the Republican National Convention. Mr. Trump, now the GOP's 2024 standard bearer, he's chosen Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio as his vice presidential running mate.
GOP delegates cheered as Senator Vance entered the convention hall where he was formally nominated.
J.D. is a living embodiment of the American dream.
Vance made headlines after Saturday's shooting at the Trump rally when he accused the Biden campaign's rhetoric of leading directly to the attempted assassination. Trump officials believe Vance could boost the ticket in western Pennsylvania, which neighbors his home state of Ohio. Greg Clugston, Milwaukee.
Teamsters President Sean O'Brien says it was an honor to be the first Teamster in the union's 121-year history to address the GOP convention. Yesterday was the economy. Today, security is the focus for the Republicans. Shoppers hit the pause button on their spending in June from May, defying economists' predictions of a pullback.
The Commerce Department says retail sales were unchanged in June from May, after being revised upward to a 0.3% increase in May. April sales were revised downward, a 0.2% decline from unchanged. Sales rose 0.6% in March and 0.9% in February.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. The Biden Justice Department authorizing an appeal of a federal judge's ruling tossing out on constitutional grounds the Trump classified documents case. Judge Aileen Cunningham ruled the appointment of Jack Smith as a special counsel ran afoul of the Constitution in more ways than one. On Wall Street, the Dow trading 586 points higher, while the Nasdaq is down 30 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty-free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at SerenityLTC.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Scattered showers and storms today with some dry time in between, but beware, stronger storms could drop a lot of rain in a brief period of time, and some isolated strong to severe storms could produce some gusty winds. Temperatures all over the place this afternoon. If you get a lot of dry time, you'll be in the low 90s. If not, highs will be in the 80s. More rain and storms possible tonight, including the potential for heavy rain, down to 73 for the low. Tomorrow's our dry out day as any lingering rain winds down, highs in the mid 80s. And then Thursday and Friday look great. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough
and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right. Well, welcome back to it. I'm Vic Porcelli. That is Ken Williams over there. Another hour to go. And we've got Drew Thomas Allen. He won't cuss on this here radio, but boy, did he cuss on this here Twitter yesterday.
Yeah.
Monday, yeah.
People are getting tired and they're getting aggravated.
You know what, Ken? The whole thing, first of all, when in 1927, when Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs, people were witnessing history that we look back on and said, wow, 60 home runs in one season, right? That lasted till 1961. Good run, right? 40-something years. And we are witnessing history right now. And I've been asked so many times, do you think there will ever be another presidential assassination? And I immediately say no, because the Secret Service has everything blocked down. I'll bring it up again. Ronald Reagan was in my town, Bloomfield, New Jersey, in 1983. I couldn't get home. The town was so locked down.
Right. I remember them shutting down highways, like 270 shut down while they drive through it.
Clinton came one time at 9:30 in the morning. I was on my way to my 10 o'clock show on the river years ago, and the exit to 18th Street was blocked. So I got out of my car and I walked up to the curb there, and there he was, drove right by. But so, and I believe that's true, that we have the capability for this never to happen again. And the capability collapsed on Saturday. Now, a guy who has had experience, believe it or not, with the Secret Service, not working for them, but working with them, is one of our hosts here on News Talk STL, Ken Kruger, the host of Last Call, Saturday nights at 10, and a great friend of ours. Let's just say that. Ken, how are you, man?
Good morning, Vic. How are you?
I'm okay. Confused. I don't know how anything like this can happen in the year 2024, Ken. How can this happen?
I don't know, because I did a couple of rallies on the production side of things with Trump back in 2018. Now, he was president then. But what I saw then, this couldn't have happened.
Give me some examples. Some of the things you did see then and didn't see Saturday.
They were at airports, these events. Carbondale was the first one, and then Columbia. Their perimeter, they established a perimeter. They didn't just tell people to look at rooftops.
Right.
In Carbondale in particular, they brought in school buses and dump trucks and everything they could find to literally create a wall around the event site. And that was, I'm guessing that was 500 to 750 yards away from the stage. And then they put plastic over all the chain link fencing around, so you couldn't even look in. And it looked to me as if on Saturday, people were just sort of wandering around out there by that building.
Yeah. You know, part of me, when this first happened, said maybe it was just a lack of manpower, right? Because the Trump campaign has asked for Secret Service protection or increased protection. Mayorkas said no. Cheadle said no. And now it's like, wait a minute, this is more than just manpower. When regular citizens can, you and I, right? Just regular citizens saying, hey, look, there's a guy on the roof with a gun, and nobody did anything.
Well, I mean, I've produced a lot of events, and I always look around out of extreme paranoia, probably, but I always look around at the site, and I'd have picked that out in 2 minutes.
Right.
If that roof was an issue. Now they say that they pulled even more manpower away from Trump's event because Jill Biden had an event in Pittsburgh that same day. So I don't know. It's just very peculiar. And then, the more I find out about it, those normal people you're talking about, they were calling in and getting hold of the police. They'd spotted that guy a long time before anything happened. This is going to be weird. There's something extremely fishy about this.
Ken, you said you've worked with Trump and you've worked with Secret Service and other events. Have there ever been any times where you've said something, you've alerted them to something, and they didn't think about it, And they were like, oh, okay, let's look at it.
No,
Right.
because they had everything locked in.
I mean, the perimeter, one would think, should include a chip shot for a good shooter. That building, that was really the only building there. It's not like there were all these buildings like Dealey Plaza where you had to look at, right? That was the only building in that entire area, and nobody looked at it. I hate saying this, Ken, but I saw your post last night on Facebook about this looks fishy. I think it's more than fishy. I think it's a setup. I really do.
Well, it's I read a couple of Twitter threads this morning, and it's kind of eerie.
Yeah,
I'm a little concerned. At first, I thought, oh well, they just screwed up. The more I think about it, though, it's like that the Secret Service wouldn't on their own do that. I mean, look, at the very least, you could have had a guy, some old retired cop in a folding chair on top of that roof or something,
right?
And Vic,
with a walkie-talkie.
and Vic,
It actually ought to put people on that roof anyway to look out at around the rest of the event venue.
And Vic, you always talk about how these people, they were delayed. I mean, they were saying, "Hey, there's somebody on the roof. Hello,
Right.
guys, look," and they didn't do anything. But you always talk about, Vic, how it's either this way or this way.
Dichotomy.
And Ken, there were minutes that passed by with people saying, "Hey, guys, you see him? He's on the roof," and they didn't do anything.
Well, then one of the cops pulled a Uvalde, where he actually climbed up on the roof, and the guy pointed a gun at him, and he ran off.
Yeah, you're the second person to bring up Uvalde today. Ken, I'm sure you have. Maybe you haven't. Have you ever seen the movie Serpico?
Yeah.
So the movie begins and ends with the same scene, where it's a drug bust, and Frank Serpico is the first one to open the door, and he couldn't get the door open all the way, and just his face is there, and they shoot him in the face, and then they don't call an ambulance for help because he was the clean, good cop, and the
Right.
dirty cops didn't help. That's the first thing that came to my mind, was just turning your back and saying, "Oh, no, nothing to see here." No, but the guy on the roof, no, I don't know what you're talking about. It's all just very similar to that in a little bit of different ways, but it just is more than fishy, I guess. More to me, it's more than fishy.
And the whole bit about Biden calling for people to cool down with their rhetoric, and that hasn't happened
Right.
at all.
So when you worked with the Secret Service, how confident were you then that, my God, these guys have this under control as compared to
Well, I
Saturday?
mean, very.
Yeah.
The only thing I saw that could be exploited was basically with the people who were working for me.
Right.
Because we had a certain amount of access before and after the event, but during the event, we were, everybody knew where everybody was. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. And if you've ever been to a concert, at the pageant, or anything like that, somewhere in the region, Ken had something to do with it, because he was always backstage doing stuff. And I'll say it again, because I'll never forget you for this, but when my son got to do about 15 minutes at the pageant, you were great to him. You were like, "Keep your bottle of water right here. Make sure you thank your mom," and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, Ken's pretty cool. And I also like to say that my first concert that I saw, kind of concert, was Big Fun at Mississippi Nights.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Those were the days, my friend. I wish they'd never end. Ken Kruger, host of Last Call Saturday night. So how's the show going?
Oh, it's going great. I've got this kid producing with me.
What's his name?
Ken something or other.
No, he sucks. Ken Williams? He's terrible.
Yeah, that guy.
He's the best there is, man.
Talking
All right.
music, Vic, you're going to be a guest on there one night.
Am I?
Yes, you are.
Wow.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Well, you guys call me, and I'll be there to help. You bet. All right. So we wanted to talk to you, Ken, about Secret Service and the differences between then and now, or at least then and Saturday.
Yeah, I looked at this, and it wasn't the same situation. Of course, I'll say Trump was president then.
Yeah.
But This would never have happened at any of the events I work with him on.
I have to say that this probably would never happen if there were a Republican president right now and a Democrat running against him was doing a rally. I don't see that happening either, but that's my conspiratorial mind at work.
Well, listen, you call somebody Hitler long enough, and some kid, I mean, you picture this guy's 20 years old. He's been hearing that Trump is Hitler since puberty.
Right.
Yeah.
So in his mind, I'm sure he thought he was being a patriot.
Right. If somebody killed Hitler back in the 30s before he killed all those Jews, he'd be a hero, right?
Exactly.
That's what the kids think. All right, Ken. Thanks for your time, man. We really appreciate you, and I'm sure we'll come calling again, okay?
All right, man. Thank you very much.
You got it.
Have a great day.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, Ken.
So I'm glad he brought up the Hitler thing, and we're supposed to tone down the rhetoric.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So can we hear some of the, can you play 26 for me, Ken?
Yeah, sure.
And then there's something else you may have to play besides 26.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So tone down the rhetoric. They mean us.
Right.
Because we're the terrible, awful people, but they don't mean themselves.
And they're saying that. They're saying we have a job to do here.
Right. So listen to this lovely lady.
What, in your view, would happen if he were to be reelected?
Oh, I can't even think that, because I think it would be the end of our country as we know it. You know, when I was Secretary of State, I used to talk about one and done. And what I meant by that is that people would get legitimately elected, and then they would try to do away with elections and do away with opposition and do away with a free press. And you could see it in countries where, well, Hitler was duly elected. That's right. Right? And so all of a sudden, somebody with those tendencies, those dictatorial, authoritarian tendencies, would be like, oh, okay, we're going to shut this down. We're going to throw these people in jail. And they didn't usually telegraph that. Trump is telling us what he intends to do.
We need to listen to
Take him at his word. The man means to throw people in jail who disagree with him, shut down legitimate press outlets, do what he can to literally undermine the rule of law and our country's values.
So, again, Ed's toit in motion. Everything Democrats say, the opposite is true. Jail your opponents. That's what they're trying to do to Trump.
Yeah, they're proving it.
And I tried to write down the other one, but I can't remember. But it was another thing that they're actually doing, and they're blaming us of doing. So let's just run through the list here, Ken, okay?
Yeah.
You want to do 27 or 28?
Let's do both.
Let's do both.
Compilation.
Ken says
27.
Porque no los dos?
Right.
Right? Go ahead.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face. When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact. Look, as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day.
And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
So that last voice you heard was Maxine Waters. You also heard her in the middle of that compilation. Also, I would like to add to her, be sure you call the police if you hear anybody say gasoline station. Who talks like that?
I know.
Gasoline station.
I wanted to mention the Lincoln Project guy. I can't remember his name, but John Weaver, the pedophile.
Rick Wilson.
Oh, Rick
the guy
Wilson.
I have written down on my pad right here. This guy. The guy that said put a bullet in Trump.
Ken Thunderstealer.
Cross that one off. Chris Cuomo. Where does it say that protesters have to be polite or be peaceful? There was a video this kid made. I loved it so much. It had a little box with Chris Cuomo's face. He's in the forefront. The background is the Constitution, real big Constitution. The weird thing about it is this guy's eating ramen raw. Right out of the package. And when Chris Cuomo says, "Where does it say that protesters have to be peaceful?" and the kid points to
while he's
where
chewing.
it is. Yeah, while he's chewing. There it says it right there, Chris, in the Constitution.
Right here, he says.
And can I say something else? I do not believe that Joe Biden ever took anybody behind the gym and beat the hell out of
Oh,
them.
no.
He thinks he's like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
At 81 years old, I bet you he would still say that. I bet you he would still say, I should take Donald Trump behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
I don't think he did it when he was 18. Honestly.
Can we hear a couple more, please?
Yeah.
Can we hear 20? I want to do 28 and 29.
Yeah, real quick, I wanted to say about Kamala Harris, that I mentioned at the very end. She was bailing people out, by the way.
Yep.
And she was encouraging this. This is a culmination of all these people for years saying it.
That was a 2-minute montage Ken played, all of which was inciting violence from the left on people on the right.
Constantly stoking it over the years.
Inciting violence. What they accuse us of. It's Ed Stoit.
Yes.
It's Mr. Stoit. Ed.
Yeah.
Ed Stoit. Okay, play me. I hate this woman so much. 28, Claire McCaskill.
A lot of people have tried to draw similarities between Mussolini and Hitler and the use of the terminology like vermin and the drive that those men had towards autocracy and dictatorship. The difference, though, I think makes Donald Trump even more dangerous, and that is he has no philosophy he believes in. He is not trying to expand the boundaries of the United States of America. He's not trying to overcome a neighboring country like Putin is in Ukraine. He is not going for some grandiose scheme of international dominance. All he wants is to look in the mirror and see a guy who's president.
What does that mean? So is she making Putin better than Trump because he's trying to take over the world?
They're inciting violence, Ken. Play 29 and then we're done. Play 29
Okay. Right.
and then that's it. It's 5 seconds or 6 seconds or 3 seconds. Okay.
Who I got to vote for to keep Hitler out the White House.
Okay. So they keep calling him Hitler, right? He's like Hitler. He does things like Hitler, which he does not.
None
by
of
the
it.
way.
No.
But what are they really saying? They're saying kill Trump.
Right.
That's the whole. All this is a euphemism for someone should go out and kill Trump, and they found their little weirdo to try to do it.
Why does Joe Biden, even after this happened, say we need to put him in a bullseye?
Right.
But he didn't say crosshairs. We know that. He said bullseye. Okay, well, is there a difference there?
Nobody else would have got away with that, Ken. Nobody else would have. Oh, I didn't say crosshairs. I said bullseye. Well, you shoot at both.
Right.
More
A
so
bullseye.
you shoot at the bullseye
Right.
than crosshairs. I can't. All right, let's take a break. We still have Drew Thomas Allen to go at 10:41. I have no idea what he's going to say. Matter of fact, I think maybe Ken and I will ask him a question. We'll go get coffee.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back. He'll still be yelling and screaming, hopefully not cussing on this here radio. Chat box, promise, next on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
But they're really criticizing science because I represent science.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. This Dr. Randy Tobler segment is brought to you by Advanced Dentistry Now. Doctors Dan Cusimano and Dr. Megan Dwyer, 636-978-0226, or visit them on the web at advanceddentistrynow.com. It's the tale of the little pill with the big story to tell. The Pfizer Broadway series presents by popular demand. For 3 nights only, it's Jardiance the Musical.
As time went on, it was easy to see. I'm lowering my A1C.
Coming this February 29th, 30th, and 31st to the fabulous Pfizer Theater. Starring that lady in the tan pants and that guy who didn't know that his copier needed to be plugged in to work. Don't miss your chance to see this blockbuster musical. Ask for your A1C discount. It's Jardiance the Musical. February 29th, 30th, and 31st at the fabulous Pfizer Theater.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Blue Oyster Cult is back live. Friday, October 4th at the Family Arena. With special guests, Tommy DiCarlo, a former lead singer of Boston, and Jason Sheff, longtime lead singer of Chicago. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena, or at Ticketmaster. Blue Oyster Cult.
Legends of Country Rock with Pure Prairie League, Atlanta Rhythm Section, Richie Furay from Poco and Buffalo Springfield, and Firefall. Saturday, September 28th, the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Legends of Country Rock live.
Larry Connors, USA.
Hunter Biden and his artwork.
Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words. What a coward.
The art gallerist apparently claimed that one of Hunter's financial backers purchased most of his paintings for $875,000. What's this? Oh, it's a scribble, but really it's a man walking into his future and seeing his past at the same time.
You are the epitome of white privilege.
They were laundering money, and he had all of his friends coming forward to help him out.
Larry Connors, weeknights at 6 on News Talk STL. Don't miss News Talk STL's exclusive week-long coverage of the GOP National Convention with Dan Bongino and Tim Jones live from the convention floor in Milwaukee.
America Decides 2024.
All this week, right here on News Talk STL.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Oh, for you.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
What is that change going to look like, Don? What practically your father as president, I think you would even say, was a divisive figure. What's it going to look like in the second term?
I don't think he was a divisive figure at all. I think the media created divisiveness around him. They lied about Russia collusion. They said he was a traitor. They went after him in every which way possible. if the media actually starts being an honest broker, talking about the things that he did, the prosperity he brought, the peace deals that he signed around the world, rather than the disaster that we're living right now, I think you do everyone in the country a big favor.
I know immigration's important to him. I covered the family separation crisis closely. Will we continue to see policies like separating 5,000 children deliberately from their parents?
You mean the Obama administration?
You know they didn't do that, sir.
Okay. Sure.
Will there be a second family separation policy?
It's MSDNC, so I expect nothing less from you clowns. Even today, even 48 hours later, you couldn't wait. You couldn't wait with your lies and with your nonsense. So just get out of here.
You know he didn't do that, sir. Barack Obama built those cages.
Yes.
To put the kids in.
Right.
Not Donald Trump.
No.
So don't you sit there and say, you know, he didn't say that, sir. You know, he didn't do that, sir. He did do that. Obama did do that.
Did you notice what he did? Typical media move, and this is why they're the worst in the world. Because they said, now we know that he did this, so what are your thoughts about this?
Right.
And you know what? Don Jr. was right on top of it. He said,
was.
well, first of all, he didn't do that. You guys created the situation.
Ken, you're right. When you're right, you're right. All right, our very own Tim Jones, former Speaker of the House, very handsome afternoon guy here on News Talk STL with Chris Arps. He is in Milwaukee. He is at the RNC, and that's where he's doing the show from.
Yeah.
Now, Chris Arps and Tim Jones are two of the most politically connected people I've ever seen, and they're both going to be contributing to this show this week.
Yeah. Actually, Chris Arps will be in tomorrow to talk with us in the slot that Tim's normally in,
yeah.
and then Tim will be on Thursday.
Okay, which is not the slot that Chris is in.
Correct.
Timmy.
All right, Ken, let's do the chat box, please.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. While I'm young.
Okay.
Thank you for not saying too late. Appreciate that.
Well, I'll remember that.
No. All right, so I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America. No fair election.
No peace.
No fair election.
No peace.
Good morning, you MAGA, ultra patriotic, deplorable, freedom fighting dickheads. How do you fit all that on a hat?
I know.
How? And then 101 straight up says, and to the republic for which it stands. Good morning, Americans. One nation under God, indivisible. These guys are loving that they're doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
One line at a
Oh,
time.
yeah.
They're having a good time with it.
It's awesome.
Now, we should do some research, Ken, and find out if this is true.
Okay.
But Ed says, guess what? The Secret Service director is friends with Dr. Jill.
I thought I heard that. I'll look it up later.
Check that out. Good morning, all Patriot Vic heads. We will continue to fight to make Trump president again. Fight, fight, fight. To her credit, she said, the buck stops with me. She also said she has no plans to step down.
Right.
So she contradicts herself in 2 sentences.
Right. I heard that. I was like, well, okay, if it stops with you, then you should be gone.
That was an NBC interview, too. Oh, my God. Kimberly Cheadle. Word Salad Harris said, can't wait to debate Vance. Neither can I. Kimmy, neither can I. Well, that should be like more like 19. But neither can I. Kimmy, neither can I. Can you imagine a debate between Kamala Harris and J.D. Vance?
Why did they think she's going to get him? Because he is so much more. He's much more of an orator than her. He's Yale.
Why? Because they're going to have the debate, and then after the debate, they're going to see how great Kamala Harris did during the debate, no matter what she does.
Not only that, but they're going to say, oh, see how he treated this minority woman?
Yes, you're right. Did everyone see Don Jr.'s response to MSNBC? Just play that for you. The policy Obama started. That's absolutely right. Has anyone else noticed the media is treating this the same way they did with Mama's versus Israel? Both sides need to Hamas, I guess you're saying Hamas. Hamas, yeah. Okay. O'Brien subliminally endorsed them. You know, Sean O'Brien, who is the president of the Teamsters, a job that Jimmy Hoffa once held back in the day, and he was the first president of the Teamsters to speak at a Republican National Convention. You may hear that worded a different way. You may hear it worded he was the first Teamsters president in 120 years to speak at a Republican National Convention, because that's as long as the Teamsters have been around. So it's the entire life of the Teamsters. Nobody's ever spoke at the RNC, and O'Brien was there.
Hey, Vic, I've got a little answer to your the query about the relationship between Kim Cheadle and Jill Biden. It says 4 sources close to President Biden's family, including people who interacted with Cheadle during the Obama Biden administration, said she was well liked by the future First Lady and her most senior aides, including top advisor Anthony Bernal. And then at the bottom part here, it says Cheadle served with Dr. Biden's second lady detail, and Anthony pushed for her. So
there you go.
Tight relationship.
The Secret Service, some was taken away from Trump and given to Jill, who had an event at almost the same time in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh.
And I'm glad you brought that up because we didn't talk about that. But yes, Jill Biden was in Pittsburgh. It was in Pennsylvania at the same time as Trump. So they diverted all those different resources to her instead of him.
Agree. O'Brien is only responding to his membership. He is a thug. Yes, he is. But he also came and talked to the RNC. He said that Donald Trump is one tough SOB.
Right.
You know? And if you remember, he's the one who wanted to fight Marquand Mullen, Senator Mullen, at a committee hearing.
Yeah.
They were going to brawl, right? They were going to wrestle right there in front of everybody.
Yeah, he was ready to do it, too.
And the committee chairman was Bernie Sanders. Stop it right now, you senators. Don't do that anymore. Right? That was that thing. He sounded a little like a broken record to me, but he did mention the fact that in their 120 plus years was the first time. Okay. I could just read the chat box and do the show. People are on this stuff. Biden turned down the heat. January 6th, Hitler, MAGA extremists.
Right.
Charlottesville. Trump is a threat to this nation. That interview with Lester Holt, he brought up Charlottesville.
All of it. He brought everything up.
That one of the big news stories in the last couple of weeks is that Snopes, which is a left-wing fact checker in quotes,
right,
said that's not true.
Not true.
But he still
and we
brings it
knew
up.
that all
So
along.
why does he still bring it up?
Because it's him. He's a liar.
But
he's a serial liar.
Let's dig a little deeper though, Ken. He didn't see or hear the Snopes story. He
doesn't hear or see anything, Vic. His handlers did not tell him. You were right earlier today. I don't think I think his handlers are like, hey, don't tell him.
Yeah.
Just don't tell him.
Don't tell him.
Let him keep saying it.
He'll
It's fun.
poop his
It's
pants.
fun. When he poops his pants, he'll say it, and it'll be fun.
Roofing is hard work. Yes, it is. That's why you go with Connor Roofing. What were you about for me? Is that your Chihuahua's house? What is going on in this chat box? We have a Chihuahua at home. He's an illegal. Shh. Don't tell ICE about him. Kim Cheadle has ties to the Cheney family as well. Very successful.
Great.
Yeah. Mayorkas said that there was no gunman and that the area was secure. So Mayorkas, I would have thought that the Secret Service would be under the Justice Department. I don't know why I thought that, but they're not. They're under the Homeland Security Department. So the ultimate responsibility goes up to Mayorkas. Right. And don't forget, Kim Cheadle, who was the director of the Secret Service, says, the buck starts with me. You going to step down? Nope.
I just said the buck stops with me.
That's like
that doesn't mean I'm going to step down. Come on,
when
fool.
Chevy Chase is driving his family to Wally World, and they go over not the Eads Bridge, but the Poplar Street Bridge, and the arch is there, and he goes, look, kids, there it is, St. Louis Arch, 630 feet. You can take an elevator all the way to the top. Oh, Dad, can we do it? Nope.
No.
That's what they said about it. All right, let's get out of here. When we come back, a guy who told us a long time ago, Ken, you're voting to save America or destroy America. Those are your two choices. Another dichotomy. Book's called America's Last Stand. Its author, Drew Thomas Allen, is next on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Son of a gun. You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you?
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
All right, look, if it's time to sell the house, congratulations. That's part of the objective, right? That's part of the long-term goal, is to buy a house, stay in it for as long as you want, and then sell it and get out and move into something smaller if the kids are gone, or bigger if the kids are just starting to grow up. Either way, the folks at the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway, who happen to be Rodney and Jen Wallner, are the only team that you should call. Don't waste time, okay? You want to get this thing done. They've got a line of people. If this were like literal, you'd have a line of people around the block who are all approved home buyers ready to buy your home. And your house isn't even on the market yet. I mean, they're already selling your house, working on it, and your house isn't even for sale yet. It's like they're magicians. They're a great husband and wife team. They sell 15 times more homes per year than your typical realtor, and they're just good people, okay? We talk all the time about how Jen, her Angels Arms Foundation, helps kids in foster homes that are not in a good situation, because she was in a foster home in a terrible situation. So get the job done, get it done quickly. If you decide you want to stay in your house, no problem, let them know, okay? In Missouri or Illinois, the Wallner Home Selling Team, 314-810-SOLD, 314-810-SOLD.
Thank you very much for taking my call.
News, analysis, opinion.
Yes, I just want you to know what a breath of fresh air you people are.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Stop what you're doing and listen to this. Your God-given freedoms are up for the taking, and those doing the taking are the same people who've sworn to defend your freedom. They think they can control the media, hide the truth, and force their delusions onto your family. You know what they can't take away? Self-reliance, peace of mind. Got water filtration? You should. A charged solar generator? You better. Emergency food on your shelf? Get it now from My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the most trusted name in survival, and for damn good reason, too. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now and save $200 on their best-selling 3-month emergency food kit. It delivers over 2,000 calories per day, plus sealed inside practically unpierceable packaging. It lasts up to 25 years. Oh, and did I mention it's delicious? Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and save $200 per kit. Includes fast and free shipping. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
Fox News commentary.
Instagram seemingly doesn't view celebrating the assassination attempt of a former president as a community guideline violation. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Donald Trump Jr. here. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but you can stop your losses by diversifying into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold now.
Message and data rates may apply.
Regarding the assassination attempt on former President Trump by various news and culture outlets have brought out the most vile online trolls imaginable. Many users have left comments across various posts, either celebrating the assassination attempt or lamenting its failure. I have personally reported these vile comments to Instagram and have been sickened but not surprised to receive notice. These comments will not be removed because they don't violate Instagram's community guidelines. What? Celebrating the assassination attempt on a former president doesn't violate community guidelines, but comments commenting on COVID vaccine injuries, masking, and other COVID protocols is a qualified violation because I've been personally censored for that very thing on Instagram. Isn't it funny how free speech is so selective for those social media companies? I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Hey, it's Tuesday at 4:20. We'll speak with David Stokes from the Show Me Institute. And at 5:20, we'll speak with Dr. Randy Tobler on the attempted assassination of President Trump.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
After I signed the PAC Act into law.
Crack-a-lackin', you are speaking my crack-a-lackin' language.
The PAC Act has always had the compelling value sets the visions of America. One of those value sets is revenge and retribution.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
And welcome to it. LA woman right there by the doors made my friend Sal drive too fast.
Oh, okay.
That was, you know how there's always a song that's like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
You need to start pressing down on the gas pedal. LA woman was it for Sal, man. We never got pulled over, though. All right, let's talk to an Italian guy who speaks Italian, for God's sake.
Drew Allen of the Drew Allen Show podcast.
It's people who love this country and respect freedom and want to preserve it for the future. You know, it really shouldn't be political.
Amico mio, come stai?
Ciao, buongiorno, Ciccio. Sono molto contento.
I think I'm so cool and so smart. I'm trying to talk a little Italian, and I'm really an idiot. Drew, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm doing better than a lot of people on our side that just want to be mired in negativity for some reason. There's a lot to celebrate. J.D. Vance is the VP. I wanted him of those that we were provided as options anyway. And I'm very excited about that. You know, we have a president that survived an assassination attempt. We have a media that is on their heels. Trump is playing them like no Republican candidate has done in American history. I mean, it's just amazing to see. I mean, he comes out and says, hey, you guys need to provide RFK Jr. Secret Service after he survives an assassination himself. And of course, the Biden administration has been refusing that this whole time. And as soon as Trump comes out, you know, moments later, the Biden administration, out of fear of Trump, says, okay, we're going to provide him. I mean, this is amazing, folks.
Wow.
We are winning, and we need to go on the offense and destroy these people. I'm excited.
So what do you think the reaction was of people on the left when he survived the assassination attempt?
Oh, they were horrified.
Right.
They all wanted him to have been killed. And this tells you this is the kind of elephant in the room in America right now. You know, I was explaining it this way. So just, you know, a week ago or so, we were treated to, of course, a media who, you know, just before the debate, they were defending Biden and telling us that real video showing what we saw on the debate stage, well, those were cheap fakes, and that he had vitality and was brilliant and so on and so forth. And then he got put up there next to Trump. And the reason this happened is because usually, by the way, Joe Biden, it's a controlled situation environment. He's by himself. So the media only has to compare Joe to Joe. So they can just lie. But you couldn't, you had a different basis of comparison on that debate stage, which was Trump. So I think they were caught on their heels. But anyway, my point is, then they feigned shock. They feigned shock that, you know, that Biden was basically mentally dead. And so now we have a media whose rhetoric is directly responsible for inciting an assassination attempt against Trump. And all of us paying attention who are sane are surprised it took this long for something like this to happen. And now, of course, the media is feigning shock that this could happen.
Yeah. So, Drew, do you think this will happen again?
Well, I sure hope not. I think efforts will be made. Probably. We've never been in an environment like this. We've never experienced in this country in our lifetimes something that was so out of control in terms of the heat, the temperature that's been turned up in the country. And it's not because of us. It's not because of Trump. That's projection. It's why squarely the responsibility of it at the feet of the left. They are the ones that have been comparing him to Hitler. And look, this didn't start this year or last year. This started in 2016.
Yeah.
And in fact, I mean, that's one of those things I recounted in my book, whatever. But, it's like they started calling Trump a threat to democracy before he was even in the Oval Office. So that was a narrative that's been around since 2016. And they've only increased the irresponsible rhetoric since then.
Yeah, Drew, we played nothing less than about 5 minutes of them saying things that lead up to what happened on Saturday. We played everybody in the Democrat Party saying something. This has been a process that's been going on since 2016. And now they're wondering why there are people coming out of the woodwork. Vic, I just saw a person last night, a video of a man saying, "Oh yeah, well, it's really too bad they missed. This is a shame. This is awful." And there are going to be 100 other people behind him to try it again, and they better make it work.
So before you answer, Drew, just to Ken's point, all these people that are like, "Oh, so sorry you missed." Do they not realize the chaos that would have happened in this country if President Trump were shot and killed? The chaos, could you imagine?
Go ahead.
They are not pragmatic or reasonable enough to think about consequences of their actions. And also, these people thrive in chaos. Look, I mean, Rush was just ahead of everybody, I guess, in whether he was half-hearted about it at one point when he said it early on or not. It's been proven true. It's the left suffers from very real mental illness. Perfect example. I see, there's this guy, Brian Cohen's. I don't know. He's got a podcast out there. He's a lefty, and he's a younger guy. I don't know if he's my age or somewhere thereabouts, but he's out there saying, because of course Eileen Cannon, who was a patriot, she rightfully dismissed this Mar-a-Lago documents case on the grounds that Jack Smith was unlawfully appointed. And his response to that, of course, is that if Trump wins, he's going to put Eileen Cannon on the Supreme Court. And, it's the end of democracy. I mean, these people are incapable of not stirring up hatred. I mean, I really loathe these people because, if the media just went away, right, we would the temperature in this country would come down. People would begin to rediscover sanity and common sense again. And so the people that are feeling this are truly evil people that only know one thing, and that is hatred, that is revolution, that is destruction.
I agree, Drew.
I completely agree with that. So how many, there's no way, I don't know why I'm asking you this. How many assassination attempts were stopped before it got too far, before this event on Saturday? Do you think? Just what do you think?
Oh man, I don't. Let me answer this way first, because I have to kind of work. I haven't been asked this before. It's kind of like how many instances of attempted terrorist attacks have been stopped, right? It only takes one, is the point,
right?
So that's a great question. I wish we could have insight into that to some extent, or maybe I don't, because it would be too frightful. But certainly, people have been caught before, I would imagine. The answer to that question would tell us a lot. I honestly, I'm not sure I want to know the question.
Yeah, right.
I'm already frightened enough about the political violence from the left in this country.
Talking about that, we know they want to say to voters, take Trump at his word. He said he's going to be a dictator, right? And all this stuff. So when do we start taking the left at their word? When Madonna says, "I've thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House." Robert De Niro says, "I want to punch him in the face." Johnny Depp says, "Oh, it's been a long time since an actor assassinated a president." Why don't we take them at their word? Because look what happens. they're the ones who always do it.
Yeah, Shakespeare in the Park in Central Park years ago.
Yep.
They did a production in which they had a Trump, lookalike that they killed in that production, and we had Kathy, what's her face? I always get her confused. Kathy.
Griffith.
Yeah, I always want to call her Kathy Lee Gifford, but anyway, Kathy Griffith holding the severed, bloody head of Trump. And so it's no surprise to any of us. And this is the thing. I mean, this is the left is a violent political party. And I'm not saying that to raise the temperature. I'm only saying that we have to acknowledge this and confront this, just like the media needed to confront the fact that Biden is brain dead. We have to confront this as a nation. I mean, look, they have BLM and Antifa, two violent groups that carry out acts of violence in the name of Democrat Party policies, and so on and so forth. But look, there was a movie made in Great Britain in 2006, I think it was, that was a mockumentary about George Bush being assassinated. This is the party that took out Lincoln. Of the 7 attempted and successful together combined assassination attempts on presidents, there have been 7, and 6 of them have been against Republicans, as a matter of fact. And, this is a history. This is something that we need to begin to understand as ideological, that is in somebody who believes in those philosophies that the Democrat Party does. So no, I mean, they have long been a violent party. And so, they fantasize about violence against their others. And of course, when they feed that mental illness, as they do every day with the hysteria and the hoaxes and the lies, you get violence.
But Drew, a factor that we haven't been talking about, Vic, is we've talked about Antifa, we've talked about BLM and what they're potentially going to do. Anytime the left loses something, they start fires and burn things down. Right. Okay, but we haven't talked about the 20 million plus illegals that have crossed the border, that how many of which could be in sleeper cells right now waiting for Trump to be at, say, another rally, and then they set it up and they're going to do a more professional job now. We don't know this, Drew.
Well, they would somehow find a way to blame future acts of terrorism on America itself or something like that too, like they did after 9/11 and so on and so forth. Yeah. Right? It's always our fault. These people are incapable of introspection. I mean, if they're looking for the monster, they need only look in the mirror. That's the only place they're going to find it. And I just think that we have to learn this right now. I mean, they're playing victim, obviously, as can be expected, and it's reprehensible. Jen Psaki, I'm worried about political violence against me, retaliation. So they have a guy who tries to assassinate, who's been consuming their rhetoric, carries out an assassination attempt against Trump, and then they say, we're the problem. I mean, it's unforgivable. I have no respect for the media.
I don't either. Drew Thomas Allen, get his book, America's Last Stand. Will you vote to save or destroy America in 2024? Drew, love it. Loved your little post you did on Twitter when you said, I don't really like to curse on here, but it was awesome. Yeah. So thanks, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks. Next week.
You got it.
Hey, see you, Drew.
Hey, thanks for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Dan Bongino, hopefully the future director of the FBI, is next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Whoosh.
When you make a big promise, you have to back it up with big actions, and that's what my friends at Window World do. Mike Ferguson here from my friends at Window World. Give them a call today, 314-993-1800. They are simply the best for less. Double strength glass windows that have a lifetime warranty on them. And now for the first time ever, Window World offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. Get your free in-home estimate today. Give them a call, 314-993-1800.
Feel the sizzling heat of summer savings at Side & Sugar Novi Partners. Rev up your summer on a John Deere compact tractor with 0% financing for 84 months with zero down. Or get 0% financing for 60 months with additional savings. It's time to elevate your equipment game. Don't let this sizzling hot deal slip away. Side & Sugar Novi, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 7/26/2024. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Looking to get a new carpet, hardwood, or tile installed quickly and efficiently in your home? Look no further than Michael's Flooring Outlet. Michael's Flooring Outlet is a family-owned and operated business with a 30-year history of offering a diverse array of high-quality options in flooring. My parents and in-laws used Michael's to rip up their old carpet and replace it. They are both happy with the product and installation from Michael's. You can shop at one of their 3 locations in Creve Coeur, Darting Prairie, or St. Peters, or you can check them out at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
Hey, sand volleyball junkies. Feel the rush and show off your skills for our brave first responders. Join the David Dorn Foundation's Top Gun Maverick Sand Volleyball Fundraiser Tournament Saturday, August 31st. Enjoy Oh So Good Barbecue from Sugarfire, a splat gun tent for an energy charge, and DJ Peasy Montana to keep you entertained. Saturday, August 31st at the Sugarfire location in Wentzville. To protect, to serve, to spike. Sign up today at dornfoundation.com.
Hey, Columbo here for the great cleaning pros at Zero Res. Summertime in St. Louis means barbecues, graduation parties, and spending time with friends and family. And Zero Res knows how important it is to have your home as clean and healthy as possible for your loved ones. So they have an amazing summer offer for you. Book a cleaning in July and mention the Columbo special, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129 and a 4th room free. Just mention the Columbo special when you call 314-474-2020 or when you book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Day 2 of the Republican National Convention, and today there will be a focus on immigration. On Monday, Republicans nominated Donald Trump to lead their presidential ticket and cheered enthusiastically after he unveiled Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate. Thousands of police officers from around the country are in Milwaukee this week to provide additional security for the RNC. Correspondent Bob Agnew reports from the convention.
Even before the weekend assassination attempt on Donald Trump, some 4,000 police officers had been scheduled to be here in Milwaukee to provide additional security. Their presence isn't hard to see or feel as one tries to get around anywhere near the convention center. At various checkpoints, I've spoken with officers from Indiana, Oregon, and Ohio, just a handful of the more than 20 states sending reinforcements. Bob Agnew, SRN News, reporting from the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee.
Also at townhall.com, retail sales were unchanged from May to June.
The Commerce Department says retail sales were flat in June compared to the month before. That's after being revised upward 0.3% in May. Excluding gas prices and auto sales, retail sales rose 0.8%. Online sales were up just under 2%, while business at restaurants rose 0.3%. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said Monday that the Federal Reserve is becoming more convinced that inflation is heading back to its 2% target. He added that the Fed would cut rates before the pace of price increases actually reached that point. I'm Shelley Adler.
And on Wall Street, stocks remain in record high territory. The Dow had 506 points. The NASDAQ is up 3 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Scattered showers and storms today with some dry time in between, but beware, stronger storms could drop a lot of rain in a brief period of time, and some isolated strong to severe storms could produce some gusty winds. Temperatures all over the place this afternoon. If you get a lot of dry time, you'll be in the low 90s. If not, highs will be in the 80s. More rain and storms possible tonight, including the potential for heavy rain down to 73 for the low. Tomorrow's our dry out day as any lingering rain winds down, highs in the mid 80s, and then Thursday and Friday look great. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Liberal mega donors are always looking for new rhinos to do their bidding. And with Adam Schnelting, they found their new star. Adam Schnelting has already backed their radical plan to defund our police. And he skipped countless important conservative votes. Skipped a vote to protect kids from sexually explicit materials in school. And skipped a vote to protect churches from junk lawsuits. It's no wonder Adam Schnelting is bankrolled by Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden's top funders. Bill Cristofanelli is the only leader we can trust to protect our conservative priorities. When radicals tried to defund the police, Bill Cristofanelli passed record funding from Missouri's law enforcement